Hey, yo, guys, what is going on? And let us get back to work on the perfect grade Exia and stop that. All right, let me just get this stuff set up. Bring you guys in a little bit closer. See a little bit more of what I'm doing, hopefully. Whoa, it's more light on that as well. Welcome, welcome. It's kind of cold here in Korea. Throw on these super thick socks. Yeah, I'm also gonna throw on some music too. I'm gonna play some of I don't know if you guys listen to this. I sometimes listen to this stuff. You can find like these they're like chill hop, what are they called? They're just like 1 or 2 hour long, like really long videos of just like relaxed, like lo-fi hip hop kind of stuff, jazz kind of lo-fi hip hop stuff. I'm gonna throw that on. I'm gonna throw some snacks in this bowl too, because I like to snack. And yeah, hopefully that music won't get copyrighted, because I think it's just like I'm sure it's probably not fair use, but I don't think the YouTube algorithm's going to find that. If so, then I may just have to take down monetization on this video later, but I don't think it's going to be a big problem. I want to play some music. I think that would be cool. So I don't know how well you guys are actually going to hear it either. If it's like coming through, like if it's messing with the audio a bunch, please let me know in the chat and I'll turn it off, or just put on some headphones. If you can't hear it at all, that's probably okay too. I hope it's just kind of like playing a little bit there in the background. Got some Tsingtao tonight, big bottle also as well. I really need to just get to work on the Exia, but excuse me. Let's just relax for a minute. I just got done shooting the review. Well, you can't see it's behind the camera. The review for the Sun Toys Black Gundam. So need to post that. Meant to do that last night and meant to stream last night as well. And some of you guys may have seen that I posted up the link for the stream last night and everything. But as soon as I sat down to start the stream, my son woke up and started crying and was like sick. It wasn't that bad last night. He was just kind of congested, but then we went to the doctor today and they said, yeah, it's kind of like mild bronchitis. He's had that off and on. It kind of comes back every now and then for the past couple months, for the past while. I think it's just a baby thing, I guess. Do you at all listen to Nujabes? Similar feel to chill hop. Yeah. I think I have before. I don't like actively, but the name sounds too familiar. So I'm sure I've listened to that before, or someone's recommended that to me before. So is the music messing with the audio? Can you guys even hear it at all? Let me know. How old is my son? My son is 2. Now he just turned 2 in October. Yeah. So he was just a little guy. Where were we here? I think we finished through page 21. So while we didn't really make all that much progress, we actually got 21 pages through the manual somehow. It's also going through like the first couple pages where it's like nothing. But again, for those of you guys who maybe aren't often in my live streams, and my live streams don't really come around that often, if you want to ask a question or something, please put that in all caps. That way I can see it a little bit more clearly. So any question or comment you guys want me to see, just do me a favor and put it in all caps. That would be appreciated. So let's try this balancing act of, oh, actually, Evening, sir. Zach, thank you. How's the kid? The kid is, as I just explained a few minutes, I'm really having some deja vu here. Suddenly. Yeah, as I was just explaining a minute ago, maybe before you before you hopped in here, I was just explaining that he is doing okay. He's a little bit sick, but I think he'll live. My knife is there, and yeah. Reviewing the Zaku half cannon. Yes, I haven't snapped it up yet, but I will be reviewing that probably. I'll snap it up this coming week. I don't know if I'll get to the review this coming week. It may be the week after, but yeah. Deja vu. All right. So we need runner B2. Choose this smoky cleaner. Probably just for these two parts there, I'd imagine. B2, 13, 12, and 13. Oh, they are the same, okay. And someone asked me in the comments, there was either the comments in the unboxing video or my last stream, but someone left a comment asking me to show in more detail about the way that the parts in the knee go together or something. So I guess I'll try to show that to you guys. I'm not exactly sure what exactly he was specifically looking for me to show on camera. Currently, this next part is going to be building the inner frame of the legs. Now, what do you like to listen to while you build? Which artist or genre do you prefer? Lately, I've been doing a lot more. Lately, I've been doing a lot more just listening to just YouTube videos while I'm building. I'll just play some YouTube videos, usually like news stuff, to be honest. So not very exciting. But that's kind of my time when I can stay caught up on news and work on Gunpla. I like to multitask. I don't think, like, I just get really stressed out when I'm doing something and not multitasking. Yeah, that's how bad it is. I've heard other people say this, and I can attest to this as well. I think, like, when you're a YouTuber, and I'm a YouTuber, but it's not even my full-time job. But I'm sure this is especially worse when it is your full-time job. But when you're a YouTuber, I guess this can apply to anything that when you work for yourself, like you have your own business or whatever, you're working 24 hours a day. And even though this isn't my full-time job, I definitely still get that feeling. Like, I may not always be working, but it's always on my mind. It's not a bad thing. I really enjoy this. But I've heard people say that, and I can attest to that certainly being true, and it's not even my full-time job yet. Hopefully it might be someday. I've recently gotten a few more Patreons. I've recently gotten a few more patrons, which is awesome, and definitely is 1, 2, 3, 3 recently. That's definitely a step in the direction of hopefully maybe sometime in the future being able to do this for a full-time job. If you guys want to see more content from me, I do as much as I can, but there's only so many hours in a day. If you guys want to see more, I would love to do this as a full-time job, but got to pay the bills. So YouTube AdSense is not great. It helps, but me or any other YouTubers who are using Patreon, with the way YouTube is now, if you guys pay any attention to how stuff is on YouTube, you know, for content creators, it's not the best time. It's certainly not bad at all. I mean, as YouTube just continues to grow and grow, there's a lot of opportunity. But I think it's certainly not the golden age it maybe was for people doing it as a full-time job. So that's why a lot of creators are using Patreon. And I think there was a lot more stigma with it at first. I think there was just kind of this feeling like, oh, people are just doing, like, they're just using it for money. And I feel like people have come to accept it a lot more these days, which is cool. I was really hesitant about getting on it at first, just because, you know, of course, people just see it and they're like, ah, just wants money. But, you know, I think if you're putting in work, then people notice, and I think most people are able to recognize that it's not about just giving money to someone. So anyway, I know you guys, I've been glancing, I just wanted to talk about that for a minute. I know you guys have been asking some questions in the chat, so let me try to get to that. Thanks for the recent Gunpla news, those upcoming kits. Yeah, there's a lot of news that came out today, right on the day when I uploaded the Gunpla news video, as usually tends to happen. So why don't we talk a little bit about some of that stuff that was all announced today, considering I just missed it, being able to talk about that in the news video. So, of course, the big thing that I'm most excited about is the high-grade wound wart. That is completely out of nowhere. Was definitely not expecting that, and that's super, super good news. I could not be more excited about that. Okay, I don't need this part yet for this part, but I'm sure I will. And I'm sure I'll need that knee part too, but I guess we'll just wait. So yeah, those are actually different, aren't they? So 1, 2 is what I need for this one. That means this one goes on the other side, and this one's P1, 8. P1, 8, P1, 10. For stuff like arms and legs, as I've told you guys, I'll work like one section at a time. But for legs and arms, it's mostly just mirrored. So I will cut out the parts for both arms and legs at a time. But I'll like build one, and then I have all the parts for the second one already cut out. I can just build that up quickly as well. P1, 6. This one. Oh, so yeah, those are just 1 and 2 goes over to that one. Did you know the Converge figures don't come with gum in the US? Yeah, I've heard that. People have mentioned that in the comments to me. I really feel bad for you guys, because that gum that comes with the Converge figures is so good for about 2 seconds. And immediately loses its flavor. You guys are really missing out. Did you know? Oh, it disappeared. Did you know Bandai makes Gunpla? Thanks for that. Yeah. Sir Zach, 2 days Gunpla group Christmas party. No Christmas party for me. No Gunpla Christmas party anyway. No Gunpla Christmas party. But I'm sure I'll have just a Christmas thing, just with family. Q. Hi. It's due to the import regulations and shit, yeah. Yeah. Am I into doom metal at all? Not really. How long is your wait list right now? What's that wait list for commissions, you're asking? Did you hear about the new Build Fighters project in February? I haven't heard about the new Build Fighters project in February. What's the new Build Fighters project in February? What am I drinking? Does the PG Exia have a display stand? Yeah, it's over there on the floor. I'm drinking some Tsingtao. Good stuff. It tastes pretty good. It's much better than Korean beer. And you can get the big bottle for quite cheap. I think it's like $3. So yeah. Sorry I missed your message, even though it was in all caps, Evan. I can't see them all. I am trying to work at a relatively quick pace on this. There's a lot of kit to get through, and time is short. Do you guys know that? Do you guys listen to M83 at all? Yes. Did I notice the Garibaldi? Yes, of course. The new Garibaldi is also coming out. That also looks really good as well. Of course, I'm more excited about the Woundwort, but I am also quite excited for the Garibaldi. I've never really been like a super big fan of that, but I'm sure it'll be a really nice kit. Just by what I can see, the details on it look really good. And if it's anything like the Barzam or the Ifrit, or other kind of similar-ish kits that have come out in the last year or so, then if it's anything like that, it's going to be a fantastic kit. So the Garibaldi will also be a really nice HG kit for sure. I don't know. If someone told me that we were going to be getting any sort of kit of the Garibaldi, I really would have expected that to probably come out in the RE line. But HGUC also makes sense. I mean, they often will release just kind of more obscure stuff in the HGUC line. So it's not too much of a stretch of the imagination. Having dinner right now and watching this. Cool. I don't watch videos while eating dinner these days because I'm usually with my family. But back when I was a shingle guy, I would watch stuff while eating as well, quite often. Have you seen the recent Zeta AZ and the recent Battle Log? No, I haven't watched any of the Battle Log episodes yet, actually. When I was in Tokyo 2 weeks ago, and when we were at the Gundam bar in Nakano, I watched part of one. He played Battle Log. It was playing on the TV while we were at the bar, and kind of saw a little bit of the what was it? The first one with the ZakuAurelius, the Origin Zaku, and the Reversible Gundam, and then saw a little bit of the episode with the Gyanko and Super Fumina kits as well. And from what I saw of that, like I wasn't really paying close attention to it, obviously, because it was just kind of there with people and we were just kind of enjoying the bar. But from what I could see of that episode with the Gyanko and the Fumina, oh man, that looked so bad. It looked like the worst. Oh man. Like Build Fighters in general, everyone knows it was just kind of like product placement. But man, that was really intense. That was even a little bit too much for me. So yeah. So no, I haven't watched any of the Battle Log episodes yet. Not for any particular reason, just haven't taken the time. I'm not like against it. I'm sure I'll watch them at some point, but it's just not high on my to-do list. The second baby is on the way, and it's only going to be more busy after that, so I'm kind of extra time conscious these days, and I already was like hyper time conscious before. Yeah. Hey Zach, have you built the Hyzak? I haven't actually ever built a Hyzak because I don't really like the design of the Hyzak that much. Sorry if that ruffles any Hyzak fan feathers. Just not really one of my favorite designs. Not really into the Hyzak that much, and also not really into the ZakuAurelius FZ. But I love the F2. It's amazing how just the small differences in the design, I don't know, can really change whether I like the overall design of the Zaku that much. The ZakuAurelius FZ just looks kind of too, for me. The chest is weird. I don't like the red on the chest. Wait, what? 2021, is that right? Oh, okay. The Zaku F2 is much, much more to my personal taste. Any SDXMG HG customs in the works for a video? Yeah, Scuffle, yeah. I think I talked about this before when I reviewed the HG 00 Gundam, that I want to do an SD slash MG, SD slash HG kit bash kind of build with the 00 Gundam and using the head from the SDX standard kit. But that's just kind of one of some projects that are on my to-do list. So I don't know when I'll be able to get around to that, but it is on my kind of shorter to-do list. I don't want to say short list, but it's on my shorter to-do list. All right, so we're good on all the parts for this page, for the left and the right side. I think that's it. Adjust my thing here. Best methods, tools you use to clean sprue gates from parts. Knife is my main tool, though it's not really widely recommended for just relying only on a knife to remove nubs. I do use a sanding stick when I need to, or sandpaper when I need to, but just for doing reviews and stuff, I usually don't want to spend that extra time sanding a whole lot if it's just for the review. Whenever I go around to like actually paint the kit, then I'll go in and do some more sanding. So I'll sand more of the nub marks just to make sure everything's nice and clean. And then sanding other surfaces too, like wider surfaces that may not be like completely flat or something. There's any surfaces where I think it'd be a good idea to sand here. So like I'm currently working on sanding the Mega Size Unicorn, because that's going to be probably the next thing that I will paint, because that's for a commission. And that kit has so many different things, just because of the design of the unicorn. It has all these different angles everywhere and everything. So sanding around all of that is taking a very long time. That's just like on my desk at work. So I'm just kind of like slowly chipping away at that piece by piece, sanding like a couple parts at a time. It's a mega size, so it's not really the most complicated kit. It's not that many pieces, but they're quite large, so just sanding everything takes a while. I just can't find sandpaper because it's just out of order in my local store. I think it's sold out in your local store. There's a lot of online stores, of course, that you could use. It's good that you want to support your local store. If they're always sold out of the sandpaper, then maybe ask them to order some especially for you. Let them know like what exactly you're looking for. And next time they order it, maybe they can like hold some for you. You could try that. Alex is here. Hi, Alex. How's it going? Do you think using a file is okay? Yeah, a lot of people use a file, and it is a very often recommended method for removing nub marks. I personally don't like it, and I don't use a file for removing nubs just because I think a file is too harsh. I think it you have a much higher risk of doing damage to the plastic by filing too much. So I just generally don't think using a file is good for me. But like I said, a lot of people do use files for just getting rid of nubs, and you just kind of have to do whatever works for you. I'm just really used to this method of just relying mostly on the knife, and I can do it well enough to get everything pretty clean. Like I said, most nubs I'll still have to go back and sand a little bit just to get everything perfectly smooth for painting. But it's just repetition. I've done this so much at this point. I can get it pretty good with just using a knife. Have you ever tried using a sanding block used for fingernails? Scuffle? Yeah, I have. You'd think that like sanding sticks used for fingernails, like you think, oh, it's just a sanding stick. It's exactly the same thing. But from what I've tried using sanding sticks, like just taking some from my wife, so my wife has a bunch of them, I have found that I don't like them as much. They don't really seem to, I mean, you'd think there's nothing different, but they just don't feel like it is doing the exact same job. You can totally make it work, but it doesn't feel as much the same as I'd imagine, I guess. I don't know, that's my experience, but there's like a million different companies that make those, I'm sure. So it could just depend, could just be the brand or the specific kind that I was using, whatever is different. But a few times when I have tried, I didn't really like it that much. So yeah. I want to turn this off if I can. Yeah, probably. Under my desk here, I have a generator because some electronic stuff that I have, mostly this one I use under my desk is basically just for charging camera batteries. Like the camera battery charger that I have is for like a US or Japanese style plug, so that doesn't work here in Korea. So I have a just like 110 to 220 generator under my desk. But the problem is it emits a noise. It kind of bothers me. Most times if I'm just like playing a video or something or filming something or recording, I don't really notice the noise. But if I'm just sitting at my desk here and it's fairly quiet, like this music is fairly quiet here, then I can hear that noise from the generator and it really bothers me. Sorry, it's off now. Does your wife, Ekna asked, does your wife like Gundam, like Gunpla? No, not at all. I wouldn't say zero interest, but it's close to zero interest. It's basically zero interest. Really the only interest just comes from the fact that it's so interesting for me that she kind of like has to listen slightly if I'm ever talking to her about something like Gunpla related, but I don't really do that much because I know she doesn't really care. But if there's like something cool that happened, like some sponsor sent me something cool and like I want to tell her about that, it's basically only when I have a good way to remind her that I'm doing well. It's like, hey, I know you worry about me staying up late at night, but here's a reminder of something that is good is actually like coming out of what I do. If you guys get what I mean. My significant other doesn't give two flying shits about Gundam. I'm like, look at the detail I put into this. Yeah. Zach, what do you think of the FW standard line? Have you got some? Yeah, I've up until just recently, I think I only had 2. I had the Banshee Norn in Banshee or Banshee Norn. I think it was Banshee Norn or Banshee Norn. Anyway, in destroy mode, I think it's the original Banshee, not the U Siri. And then I have a open hatch RX-78 that actually Henry gave me. But then on my past trip to Japan, if you've seen my recent Japan haul video, I picked up 3 new standard figures there. The Shinanju Stein, the Marasai, the unicorn version Marasai, and the Bondock twin seat type, the gray version of the Bondock. So yeah, I have detailed up the RX-78 open hatch figure that I got from Henry. This one, I did a video on that, so you may have seen that. Just basically added some panel lining and painted in a couple of the details and stuff. Not really, there wasn't really too much to do on that one, but I'm gonna have fun doing a little bit more detailing up and adding some more water slides and things like that on a couple of the other ones. The Marasai especially, I think, will be really cool. But yeah, standard, I don't think they're doing that line anymore. Either that or they're just taking a really, really long break from it because they haven't put out any new ones for a while. A lot of the standard figures actually don't look that good, in my opinion, because they have really goofy proportions. I don't know who was the designer for some of those, but some of them, the proportions are just really weird. Like huge shoulders, like just really goofy. So there's a lot of cool designs in the line, but for some reason the design of the stand, like for example the Goof Custom, we were just talking about this in our Gunpla Talk group chat the other day. There's a Goof Custom which you would think, oh awesome, like standard Goof Custom, but then you see it and you're like, oh yeah, no, not so much. But yeah. Zaki finishes. What's your favorite Iron-Blooded Orphans kit? My favorite Iron-Blooded Orphans kit. Favorite Iron-Blooded Orphans kit. You may be surprised, but probably one of them. I have to think about it some more, but one of them, at least it's one of my favorites, is actually the Munrodi. It's just a nice, simple kit, and it's actually quite a fun kit. But I also really like the Hyakuri, just because I like that big kind of head backpack thing on it. I like the design; it's pretty cool, and like the slung, like long, slong. I mixed long and slender. I wanted to say long and slender at the same time. The kind of the long, thin legs on the Hyakuri as well, and just the overall design I think is one of the more unique ones, and so pretty cool. But I don't know, their favorite, actually the Vidar, the HG Vidar is actually a really nice kit as well. That's actually probably one of my favorites as well. I can't read that name. It's a bunch of random letters and numbers. If you could collaborate with any builder, who would you like to work with? I don't know what exactly you mean by collaboration, how that would work, like, because building is kind of like a one-man thing, so I don't really know how the collaboration would work. But or if you're talking about collaborating, making a video, I'm not really sure exactly what the collaboration is, but I don't know. If you had to choose the RG Unicorn or the RG Banshee, I don't know. I'm guessing you want to buy one and you don't know which one to buy? Snowball? And so you're asking me for advice on which one of the two that you should buy, in which case they're basically the exact same kit, so you really can't go wrong with either of them. What I would recommend, if you're on the fence between two kits, I would just choose one to buy now and choose one to buy later, or save your money for a little longer and then just buy them both at the same time. Or in short, I would recommend you check out my video number 350. Don't watch it right now. Maybe open it in a new tab, add it to watch later or something. Hang out here in the chat for a while more, but then later watch my video number 350. It's about how to choose a kit. I think that's my go-to advice for anyone ever asking that question. Would you encourage your kids build Gunpla? Not exactly like encourage, like, hey, check this out, but I mean, like, obviously they'll see it around the house, and if they're interested and they want to try it, then cool. I'm not gonna be like, hey, build this, try this. Yeah. For sure, I agree. It's definitely a great hobby. I don't know how much I would have enjoyed the hobby when I was like 10. So, you know, if at some point they're interested in trying out Gunpla, then cool. I'll gladly support that. One thing that I never really thought too much about until just recently, the thought entered my mind was that if they'll watch my videos someday, because I just started to think like, I should really like be a little bit conscious of what I say in my videos, because my kids could, in theory, watch them someday. I don't know if they would, but they could. So I guess I should keep that in mind. You live in Korea, right? Do you listen to K-pop, Jacob? No, I do not listen to K-pop. I really, really, really don't like K-pop, like at all. I really think it's a detriment to Korean society, actually, if we're being completely honest. For people who like it outside of Korea, I get it. I get that it's catchy and all that. But actually in Korea, it's a totally different thing. I think if you're not living in Korea, this isn't meant to sound like elitist, but just as a matter of fact, if you're not like living in Korea or you haven't lived in Korea, then you can't really have like the first-hand experience of what like life is like, kind of, and not even like in Seoul, but I mean like in outside of Seoul. It is definitely the same in Seoul as well, but yeah, K-pop is just not good for people, especially in Korea. There's a lot of fans around the world, and they just enjoy it just for the music, but it's like such a big thing here. It's not good. It's really idolized, way out of proportion. Of course, though, I mean, I teach in an elementary school, so part of what I see is just like all like the elementary school girls like just crazy about a new boy band, a new boy, not even band, a new boy group. Every couple months it changes to whatever new boy group is popular. But you can see that effect just on the rest of the society as well. it just makes everything so like everywhere else in the world, just everyone's just so materialistic and no appreciation for like art and creativity. It's just all garbage music just spewed out by some company, and no one's able to even recognize that. They think like, oh, they're really good singers. Oh, their music is so good. It's like someone made that dance for them, and someone designed that music for them to fit to a certain style and to appeal to a certain genre. I'm like, that's fine if you know exactly what that is. Like, I like garbage music too, like Lil Wayne, but I know what it is. Like, I know I wouldn't say like, oh, Lil Wayne is such an amazing artist. I know it's just fun to listen to. There's nothing really to it. But they take it like really seriously as we would like in the States, like Adele or something, for example. Or like someone that is very, very popular, but for a pretty good reason. Like, they're pretty good at what they do. And I'm not discounting K-pop groups for not being good at what they do. I'm sure like all of the dancing and everything takes, I know it takes a lot of practice and a lot of skill and everything, but yeah, just there's a reason that pop music, I should say boy bands and the like, there's a reason that in the US relatively quickly, a long time ago, and Korea just hasn't got that memo yet. So your problem with the blind idolization of, yeah, Facondor. Sorry, I can't read. Said his wife is Korean, and she agrees. Probably my wife would also agree. Out of all the kits you've ever built, what is your favorite? I can't really answer that. Sorry, I don't know. I've built too many. I like them all. If you had to choose the next RG, what would it be? If I had to choose the next RG, what would it be? If I had to choose the next RG, as I've said in other videos, and as I know I talked about at some length in the previous live stream as well, I don't particularly like the RG line all that much, to be honest. I much prefer HG and MG. So if there was a design that I really wanted to come out, I would rather have the HG or the RG line, HG or the MG line. Sorry, more RG. So if that answers the question. Fort asks, will you get the Next Edge Ghost? No, I haven't got any Next Edge figures yet, and I don't really want to. The Ghost looks really cool. The Phantom and the Ghost both look like really cool figures, but I just don't really enjoy figures that much. I think they look really cool, but I can't really get much enjoyment out of them because you just kind of buy it and put it on your shelf, and that's kind of it. This is just supposed to go in here like this. Here's the knee. I don't know. Someone was asking about putting the knee together, but like you kind of put the part. I mean, it's all in the manual, so I don't know what was maybe asking about this, but this is how the leg goes together. Do not hold down on the claws. Very specific there. S12. Think we will get a PG dark matter Exia now that we have the PG Exia? No. Be very surprised if we got. In the announcements that we've got today, the RE100 Vignagina and the HGC Wound War. There's been a lot of surprises today, but I would be extremely thoroughly surprised if we got a PG dark matter. I think they'll probably do a couple of the other repair versions of the Exia, probably, but I don't think they'll do. I don't think they'll go that far as to making a dark matter. Who knows? I could be totally wrong. We'll just have to see. But if I had to bet, I would bet we won't get that. Oh, was that seal in the chest part as well? I missed that. So that's to that way, and that would be facing to that way. It's kind of cool. You're putting these stickers inside these clear parts, and the sticker is printed backwards. So when you're looking at it from the other side, it looks forward. So it's kind of interesting. And that part goes to there. All right. So well, that doesn't look right. I just peeled the wrong one. I thought they were the same. Whoops. Well, okay. So those aren't the same. Let me peel the right one. Try this again here. Wait. Yes. That's right. If you have questions, you should leave them in all caps. PG Exia Repair 2. And a couple people have asked me in the comments and stuff if I'm be getting the Exia Repair part set that already has been announced, and the answer is nope. What the fuck? I'm confused. So using the seal or what? How? What? Huh? What the? I don't get it. The MG line's slowing down? Yeah, sort of, but I mean, it's been slow for the past couple years. Do you think HG ZakuAurelius Shards Custom is a good kit? The original HGC, just Shards Custom ZakuAurelius, is pretty old, but it's still a pretty good kit. if you want to get a Shards ZakuAurelius in HG, I would recommend just getting the HG Origins version. Do you watch K-dramas? No, definitely not. K-dramas are probably worse than K-pop. Everything that I was saying before about what I don't like about K-pop is multiplied for the negative effects of K-drama on society here. Oh my god. I don't really get what is with the foil stickers. I'm kind of lost, but whatever. I'm just not going to use the foil stickers at this point. Huh? Where am I supposed to put that? Where am I supposed to put the foil sticker? Right in the middle of that? Is that right? Is that right? Damn. Should I put that on now? Guess so. Better check and make sure. Yeah, okay, they're both 15, so. Ooh. Fully. Okay. All right, well, the sticker's in there. Sorry, I meant the origin version. And let's see, Chelsea. Is that a Korean beer? No, it's not. I try to avoid Korean beer as much as possible. It's not good. Okay, we're really slowing down here. Let me get back to focusing on this. I need this guy here on this side, here, and this one here, on this side here, and we're meant to put this guy in here. Stickers away. This guy in here. What MG do you wish to have a 2.0? MG 2.0 of the GP series kits, of the G Gundam kits. Those would be good. Also answered this question in the last chat too, so that's why I'm not very enthusiastic to answer the question again. Sorry. I answered that question in much more detail in the last live stream. So sorry, I don't really feel like going into answering that a lot again. This one is, please press the part here. Like that. Store the extra length of wires here. What's your favorite Zaku variant? That might just have to be the ZakuAurelius F2. I love that F2. Tricky. And this one, I'm just going to push that down into there. Wait a minute. Oh no. Okay. That's why you gotta pay attention to the instructions. Yeah. We're supposed to connect that before closing up the thigh. Okay. Sorry. And it's kind of an extra wire kind of bunched up there. You just kind of have to shove it in there. It's kind of fold it up inside the thigh. What's really crazy, guys, is that light up RG unicorn. That's pretty crazy. I don't know how the hell they're going to do that. Do you plan to UV coat protect the PG Exia from its own light? I don't think so. But I guess you could do that. All right, after the legs, we're finally getting to the GN drive after this. So after we've got the legs done, then we can actually get the GN drive, and then we can actually try it out. So there's the frame of one leg done. It's pretty easy. One thing that I like about this frame build so far is that it's relatively simple. I think that is just because they have to run the LED wiring through some parts of it. But that's okay. I'm totally okay with it having a little bit lower part count, but a lot of details, and the inner frame is really detailed. It looks really nice. It's just not made up of a lot of different parts, which is totally fine. Yeah. Are you guys bothering Alex there in the chat? You guys, you can use the super chat too if you want. If you really have a burning question, or you can just send me a message on Facebook and I'll answer it later when I check my Facebook page messages. I try to answer all the questions that I get there. But if you have a burning question that you really want to be sure that I see, you can use the super chat. As far as I know, I think that's enabled. What's Fort trying to ask? I saw his question. I was just about to read it, and then it was a. Alex, what was Fort trying to say? Is it a question, or he was just trying to say something else? Tell me. If you're building an out-of-box, how do you clean up the nub marks? You're looking at it. If I'm building a kit just for the sake of review for the time being, it's just like this. But usually at my desk at work. Much of my snapping of kits for reviews is done at work in my downtime when I don't have classes. So if you guys follow my Instagram account, you can see like whenever I post a picture of like a kit that I've just finished snapping, that's just like at my desk at work. But you're not really seeing anything except just like a gray background. It's just like the side of my kind of cubicle wall from my desk. It's not a cubicle, but there's just like a wall on the side of the desk. Have you watched, okay, someone was asking if I've watched the new Build Fighters. Someone already asked that if I watched the new Build Fighters battle log, and no, I haven't. So, no spoilers! No, I don't think you're going to spoil anything for me or anyone else, but if you guys want to talk about how awesome the new Build Fighters battle log episode was, feel free to talk about that in the chat. but I haven't watched it yet. What do you at work? I'm guessing that question is meant to say, what do you do for work, or you want to know what my job is? I'm guessing. I'm a teacher. I teach English at an elementary school here. What do you think Unicorn OVA is a good series? Yes, it's one of my favorite series, actually. I've seen people with differing opinions, but it seems to generally be thought of as one of the better Gundam series out there. I like it quite a bit. I find it to have many interesting characters, not just like one or two slightly interesting characters. I like how even a lot of the side characters are like you really care even about a lot of these side characters. A really good example would be Lonnie Garvey, who piloted the Shambhala. I think she probably had less than 10 minutes of screen time, I would imagine. I think she was only in 2 of the episodes. She was in one just as like kind of an introduction, and then she was in the next episode just like piloting the Shambhala. But really cool, interesting character for just being on there just so little. We knew from her limited time on screen, we knew her motivations, we knew her backstory. It wasn't like what's it called? It wasn't like spoon-fed, but it was like it just came out naturally in the story, in the episode, and you really felt. And I think the directing of Unicorn is really good as well. The directing and the music is so good too, so that definitely helps. Like the emotional impact of it. But like at the end, not to give any spoilers, but at the end of our time with Lonnie, like you're really feeling for her, and this is like a character that we pretty much just met. But you can like really, it's like a really powerful emotional moment. So that's just an example, but like I really love, of course, I love Marita's character. She's in it obviously a lot more, and Zinnerman as well. He's also in it a lot more, but he would still be just like a secondary character, of course. Would he be secondary or one of the main characters? One of the main secondary characters. I don't know exactly how you would want to classify that, but yeah, the only character I don't really particularly like is Riddy, and I think you're not supposed to like him. So I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone saying like, yeah, Riddy's my favorite character. Really like Angelo Sopper as well. He was a really cool character. A lot of the characters seem just kind of like atypical character types. One thing, like in comparison to the 8th MS team, the 8th MS team is another one of my favorite series, and I love the characters in that team, and in the anime. But they seem like very specific character types that you can find in plenty of other things. Like you have the strong female soldier, and you have the older, more experienced, more grizzled soldier. You have the young, scared soldier. You have the young, cool soldier. In Unicorn, I think the characters are a little bit more complex. I would really love if there was like a side story manga just related to Marita and Marita's story, like before the events of Unicorn. That'd be so awesome. I really don't ever read Gundam manga or any sort of manga really. I would definitely read that quick, fast, and in a heartbeat. Ah, that'd be so good. I should just write that. fan fiction short story about like Marita before 0096. That'd be a lot of fun. Something to maybe do in the future, I guess. She is best girl. Yeah, everyone knows that I like Marita, but I think what many people do tend to forget is that right up there with Marita, the other one of my favorite Gundam girls is Sochie Chime from Turn A. As I was talking about briefly in my recent Japan haul video, when I showed that little Sochie figure that I got, which is here. This one? This one? I was mentioning in that video about how cool she is. She kind of sucks at the beginning of the story. Or she doesn't suck, but she's not that interesting at the beginning of the story. She's a little bit like, what do I want to say? One-sided. What is it? One level. Her character's not very deep. You're like, oh, okay, this is the kind of a little bit more annoying girl who likes the main character. But her character development, especially in the later half of the series, very nice. Just one of those reasons why, if you guys haven't watched it, you guys gotta watch Turn A sometime. Turn A is one of my favorites, yes. It'd be, I think, too hard to say what my definitive all-time favorite Gundam series is. I mean, it would be hard to say that my definitive all-time favorite Gundam series is anything but G Gundam, is what I mean. I do love G Gundam quite a bit. A lot of it is, I'm sure, just nostalgia from watching it on Toonami when I was young. But I personally think that G Gundam still stands up much more than Wing. Wing is a little bit harder to watch if you try watching it like later, now that I'm more grown up. But G Gundam, I think, still holds up quite well. Because it just is what it is. You either like it and enjoy it, or you can't really get into it, I guess. Alrighty. MG Barbatos Lupus? Don't think so. I don't foresee that happening. Barbatos is very popular, though. I'd say it wouldn't be hard to imagine us getting a master grade Barbatos maybe someday, possibly in the future. But considering we already have a pretty nice 1/100 scale version of it, I don't think that they'll be making a master grade Barbatos anytime soon. But if it remains pretty popular for a few years, I could see it possibly happening. Anyone here watch Evangelion? If you don't watch Evangelion, I mean, what are you doing? What have you done with your life to this point? That was a ×2, wasn't it, that one? So, let's see. I think I can do that again from memory, though. Isn't that complicated? Without having to turn the page back. Just building the foot frame. Very simple foot frame. No more favorite questions. Yeah, that'd be probably for the best. No more favorite questions. I mean, a man can only have so many favorites. Zack stopped Evangelion due to Shinji's excessive bitching. Yeah, I can understand that, I guess, but the fight scenes. Have you painted any Kotobuke Eva kits? No, I haven't. I've built one, the Mark 13, but I haven't painted any. No. What would you say about painting Kotobuke Eva kits? Is it particularly troublesome? Oh my. I know from my experience building the Mark III that they have plenty of seam lines that I'm not looking forward to removing, but do Zoids kits. Yeah, I've got one. And hoping to get another at some point. I've got the Liger Zero Schneider HMM Kotobuke Zoids kit. And I would like to get the Liger Zero Panzer as well at some point. But it's not urgent by any means. Unless Kotobuke is going to discontinue the kit, then I buy one, but otherwise I'm not in any hurry to get one. It's not a project that's very high on my to-do list. Alex, how did they get along without you in the last live stream? They got along, I guess. Zach, what are your thoughts on the new Eva movies coming out sometime in 2018? I haven't heard that the new Eva movie is coming out in 2018. I hope it does, because I want to watch it. I really want to see it. I really want to see how they're going to conclude the Rebuild series. But I can tell you my thoughts on the other Rebuild movies, and that is that I like them quite a bit, actually. I really like the direction that Ano chose to take them. He's a bold man, and I think he's able to pull it off. I'll tell you though, I'm sure I've said this before, but if you've never heard me talk about this, the first time I watched 3.0, I was actually in the theater in Japan, so it was all in Japanese, and so I didn't really actually understand most of it. But I could just kind of follow along with what I could understand of the Japanese, and then just by, you know, I'm just watching, you can kind of tell what's going on. But then I watched 3.0 again later, like with subtitles, and of course I could understand much more of the story, and a lot of it made more sense, because I think like 3.0 is so strange. I think if you don't know what's going on, you really don't know what's going on, because even when you do know what's going on, you barely know what's going on. But after watching 3.0 the second time, I still was not really that into it. I think it was probably not until like the third time that I watched it that I really enjoyed it, and now I really quite like it. 3.0 is definitely not my favorite of the rebuild movies. Probably the second one's probably my favorite, because that's where it like kind of starts to go different. And I like that. But 3.0, I think what really makes 3.0 good for me, the reason why I was finally able to enjoy it, is all in the ending. I think the ending, the very end of Evangelion 3.0, I think is definitely the most important part of the movie. It's not really a spoiler, so I don't really think it's gonna really spoil anything by talking about it, but the ending part, like after all the action and everything is all done, and that's one thing that I really don't like about 3.0 though, is the kind of like cat form of the beast form of Eva 02. I loved the beast form in the previous movie, but then like when Asuka's piloting it and it was like, and it like turned into like a cat thing, I was not into that. Like, that's a little much for me. But after all of that, when it's like in the aftermath, and Asuka finds Shinji, like pulls him out of the entry plug, and then like kind of pulls him along as they're kind of going off. That's the moment where I'm like, I got it now. And then I'm like, okay, all right, Ano, I see what you're doing, and I can dig it. So yeah, that ending of 3.0, that's the feels. So it's all about that. One 144 peeps in here, dang. Yeah, Alex, it's 144-ish now, but when you weren't here, the first stream was like 200 something. It was over 200 like the whole time. It's like 220 to 250 around there, like the entire time. And I think that was probably much more boring. I didn't have any music playing at all, and I was like well tired, so like I wasn't really talking that much. So props to the people who were actually staying around and watching the first live stream, because it was probably super boring, and I barely got anything done. I just got like the torso of the frame done. Well, this one, we should actually be able to see something a little bit more exciting. At the end of this, we can actually see it lit up, hopefully. Pushing close to 700. I think you mean 200. 700, I really was blowing away. Oh, you're talking about your sub. Sorry, okay. Y'all just forgotten about G Savior? No, we haven't forgot about G Savior, but we all wish we could. No, I've never watched it. I think I've tried to watch it once, and I got a little bit into it, and I was like, I don't really want to watch this. I think you'd be probably pretty hard-pressed to find anyone who like really appreciates G Savior. any like obscure thing, there's always someone that likes it, but I don't know if you'd really be able to find anyone who's like, you know, I actually really quite like G Savior. Probably not gonna happen. But I really wish that this part would go in here. What's the deal? There we go. And then here. Let's connect to this bad boy. Oh, damn. Connect to this bad boy. Oh, it would help if I plug that in the right way. That is the right way. Are you not? Tabs down. I really wish that Bandai would make backstepped. I really wish that Bandai would make a proper kit of the Zammel. Such a cool design. Barely any screen time, but it would still make for a really cool kit. Oh, come on now. No, okay. You'll go like that. Gotcha, bitch. Oh, I'll take that down first. Like it matters. And it's standing. It's just so big. Zach, how many countries have you been to? I'm from America, so I don't know if that counts, but that's one. And I've been to Korea, Japan, Thailand, Australia. And of course, the Philippines. So play that back and count that out because I wasn't counting. What's that, 5? Chelsea is asking, do your students know about your Gundam obsession? Yeah, many of my students know. Yes. Many of them know. GN Drive Unit B. Where's that? I'm guessing it's in here. I don't remember seeing that though. Okay, yeah, it's that part. Yeah, many students know that I'm a Gundam guy and that I have a YouTube channel. Some of my students are subscribed to my YouTube channel. Some of them probably even attempt to watch my videos sometimes, but everything's all in English, so they can't really get a whole lot out of it. Not really any of my students are that good at English that they would really be able to follow along. remember I do teach elementary school, so yeah. Guys, please don't spam the chat like that. What are y'all spamming in the chat? How many languages do you speak? English, sort of. I can speak pretty basic Korean. And do I not need this part for that? Or what? What's the deal? Do I need this? B16? What's that one? Okay. Japanese, my Japanese used to be a lot better. I studied Japanese for about 2 years in university. And then I've been there many times, and then I lived there for just over a year. So a little bit of Japanese, and I studied Spanish in high school, but I can't really speak much of anything in Spanish, but I can understand some if I'm just listening to it. But I wouldn't really say by any stretch of the imagination that I can speak Spanish, because I can't. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say English 8.5, Japanese 3, Korean 4 or 5. I think what I can say in Korean sounds good. I think my pronunciation is probably pretty good, but my vocabulary is just really limited. And my grammar is also pretty okay as well. That's kind of the hard thing for English speakers, because the grammar is so opposite. Well, the grammar is actually not really hard for me. That was because I studied Japanese in school, so like I had proper education in the grammar is basically exactly the same between Korean and Japanese. So I already had a good like foundation of that. Why did I need that? E1. E1, 14, 15, 14, 15. Yeah, 14, 15. Yeah. Uh-oh. I think we got to the end of that music, which means it's been 2 hours. This is all I've got done. Oh my god. Embarrassing. F. Oh, F. F10 and 11. And 12. Oh, okay. No, 11 and 12, that's all. Spare parts. Questions? Questions? Looking for a question. Yeah, Korean and Japanese. Zach, how does it cost for shipping from your place to the Philippines? Shipping something from here to the Philippines is obviously going to be cheaper than like shipping something to the US, but it still costs a little bit. And of course, it just depends on what exactly you're shipping. Not what you're shipping, but I mean, the weight, size, all of that, of course, right? What part is that? That's F19. And that one is F10, right? Okay, so I saw someone comment in one of my videos that it's a shame that the LED unit on this, the LED doesn't spin like with the 00 Gundam, the 00 Riser, perfect grade. How the LEDs will kind of like spin to like activate. Yeah, it is a kind of shame that they didn't do that for the back LED for this, for the GN drive. It's a dang shame. But, you know, oh well, I guess. Missed opportunity, Bandai. For how much the LED set costs, like, can we get a spinning one or what? Actually, I don't really care that much. This is one of the few kits that I really think that LEDs really do help the kit end up looking really good. Because as I've said other times, LEDs in kits I'm just not really, don't really care that much in general. Because the thing about having LEDs in a kit is you have to turn them on and turn them off. And there's batteries, and like, when are you really going to be bothered to ever turn them on and turn them off? Unless you like use a motion sensor or something, and then that's kind of its own whole thing. And you're probably going to have the lights on. You're going to turn it on for while you're taking photos of the kit, photos or video or whatever you do to document your work. Then you're going to put it on your shelf, and you're probably not going to have the LEDs on ever again. Or you have the LEDs on just like all the time. And eventually they'll go out, and you probably won't even notice. And then someday you will notice, and you'll think, oh yeah, my LEDs are out. And you have to change the batteries on them just to put it back on your shelf, and then have just the lights on. And you probably don't even look at it that much because you're looking at it. It's on your own shelf every day. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't really spend much time just like looking at stuff on my own shelf. So yeah, LEDs, while cool, really I don't really care that much about them. They look good in pictures, but on the shelf, not very practical. Any tips on removing nub marks? Buy one of these. The best knife ever. Also, I will say, these blades, this shorter style blade, so much better than the long style. Most people who you see using X-Acto knives or this type of knife, you usually see using like the long. I think they're number 11. I don't know what the number of this blade size is, but I think it's the number 11 blade is the longer one that you see most people using. No, I say that's just not correct. It's too long and too thin at the top. It's like working with a needle, not a knife. You want a knife? That's a knife. Short, concise, not a miniaturized sword. But again, it's just whatever you can use. If you can use that longer blade one and it works for you, then cool. I prefer this one. Nope. Questions? Feel free. What do you think about the devil's lettuce? It's pretty cool. In all honesty, I never indulged that much when I was living in the States. I have, but just didn't much. And living in Korea, it exists here, but it's not easy to get a hold of. And if you can, it's expensive. And if you are willing to pay the price, and then even then, the quality is not very good. So it's just not really worth it. And even then, it's really illegal. I mean, it's illegal, but like you're talking about, like obviously fired from your job and deported and probably not allowed back in the country. And all of that for some like low grade? No, not worth it. What do you think about the RX-0 full armor unicorn Gundam Destroy Mode Green HG? It's probably a pretty cool kit. I haven't built that one in particular. I've built the red frame version, red Cycle frame version, and it's a cool kit. The HG unicorn I think looks fantastic in terms of like the stability of it. It's got a couple of areas that are a little bit loose, especially in the elbows. I think can be a little bit tricky, so I definitely recommend tightening up some joints of it, some parts that maybe tend to fall off kind of easily. Tighten those up a little bit. A little bit of extra work in that just to improve the stability of it will help a lot, but good kit. You won't be disappointed. Are you planning on reviewing the MG Hazel? Yes. I have the MG Hazel all snapped up. I just need to finish snapping up actually just like the shield and the rifle. So I just need to finish snapping up the weapons and review that, but I want to do this first. But I will review the Hazel. To be honest, there's really not that much to review about it. I mean, it's pretty basic. It's a pretty vanilla Gundam. Looks cool, but there's nothing like really too bad or really too amazing about it. It's just a very standard, middle of the road master grade. Zach, how is the foot articulation on the Exia? From what I've seen, it doesn't look like it has a toe articulation like other PGs do. Well, I haven't built the whole foot yet, but the frame does at least. You can see the toe articulation here. The toe bends a little bit, albeit not very much, but it does bend a little bit there, and the whole front of the foot bends there. So it doesn't look too bad. I don't have the armor on there yet, of course. God, MG God Gundam 2.0 or Jesta? Well, we have a Jesta, so are you asking me which one you should buy? Or which one I hope gets made? Because I really hope we get a Master Grade God Gundam 2.0. But we already have a Jesta, so what exactly is the question? Will you compare this to the PG Unicorn with regards to LEDs and other kit characteristics? guess so. I don't actually have a snapped up unicorn here at the moment. I have the Banshee though. I guess I can pull that out. I'll try. No promises though. Where can the Gundam universe go from here, story-wise? Well, plenty. I mean, they could do something like Armed Blood Orphans, where it's a completely new story and a completely different universe. And obviously the possibilities with that are infinite because they're just making something entirely new. But even within the UC timeline, there's a lot of possibilities. They can do other different kinds of side stories and the in-between time, like filling out the time between like Double Zeta and Char's counterattack. There's a couple of years worth of time in there that they can fill out, or time after Unicorn. So there's plenty of room for them to do many years more worth of stories from the Gundam universes. Is Unicorn the end of the timeline? No, definitely not. Did he answer that question earlier? I don't know. Anyway, the UC timeline goes all the way through Crossbone, yeah. All the way through Unicorn, or all the way through Turn A if you want to get technical about it, but that's just not... People don't generally think of Turn A being related to the UC timeline. Although it is, I think Turn A is just kind of generally just thought of as just a kind of its own separate thing. And then Rekkingista and G as well too is supposed to be in the same timeline. I mean, like according to Turn A, even like a lot of the alternate universes are also in the same timeline, so it gets kind of a little bit confusing. But isn't Rekkingista and G also supposed to be in the UC timeline technically? Isn't that right? Green metallic paint for eyes and camera. Exia versus Barbatos. Which is your favorite? I'm not like really crazy about either the Exia or the Barbatos, but if I had to choose one, I would probably choose the Exia. Zach, do you listen to lo-fi music? Well, I am right now, and I do sometimes while I'm just working on stuff, but not like actively listen to lo-fi music. Like I wouldn't be able to name you like any one particular like lo-fi group or artist that I particularly like. Just sometimes if I feel like I want to listen to some, I'll just search for some on YouTube and just find something. One. And two. Okay, like that. And then this one, let's see, that to the top. Okay. Wait. Do you have the Linkin Park with Thousand Suns Gundam? Also, are you a fan of Linkin Park? I was a fan of Linkin Park when they were like first popular ages ago, but I wouldn't say that I am now. No, and I don't have that Gundam, that kit, because you see, it's just like a recolor. There's nothing really special about the kit, really in particular. I think it has like some special stickers for it as well, like Linkin Park stickers or something, but they're not water slides or anything, and that wouldn't be something really of that much interest to me. There we go. Ooh. Turn the page. With all the flat cables, do the LEDs interfere with the posability of the Exia? I don't think so. From what I've seen so far, it doesn't seem like the LED cables are going to interfere with the posability at all. So no, I don't think that that should be an issue. Oh, oh, where'd you go? For putting these little flaps on like the sides of the LED for opening that up, there was like a specific one, but I think I think I guessed right. I just gonna just put them on. I just kind of threw them on there, but I think I put them on the right ones actually somehow. There's a part of that that sticks up, or a part that doesn't stick up. No, okay, and then that one goes to this part like that. Like that, and then that goes to that part there. Interesting. Is that pushed down all the way? Is it supposed to be that gap there? Gin drive. You're supposed to, is that gap supposed to be there like that? I guess so. It's kind of odd. I don't remember it looking like that before. Jin never has a second cup of coffee at home. Put that in. And then I guess we're supposed to close these guys up. And now we can put it on the bass. Bass guitar. Plug this in. Like this. On. On. Oh, and it says you're supposed to press the button twice, so maybe it would have worked before if I would have pressed the button twice. Whoa. I don't know. Let's try this. One. Oh, yeah. It's working. All right, let me hit the lights so you guys can see this. Oh. Ooh. Whoa. I don't know if that's going to be too dark. You guys maybe might not be able to see anything now. But let me see here if you can see that. That's just the chest, and you can see the GN drive there. Oh, shit. Lighting up the back as well. Yo. Let's see if you can see that. It's kind of like a little bit flickery there, and then when we press it a second time, oh yeah, oh boy, woo, whoa, cool. Look at that. Hell yeah, that was good. And then how you get it to go to Trans Am, you just have to wait, or you press it again. I'm gonna press it one more time. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh boy. Woo. Oh. Sort of like changing like off and on to blue, and then like back to pink, and blue, and back to pink. Oh yeah. Woo. I know it's like a little bit blown out. I know you guys can't see the color that well. Sorry. Just because of the sensitivity that maybe if I put my face in here, it'll give the camera something else to pick up on. And yeah. Hell yeah. That's cool. Definitely takes its sweet time transforming into the Trans Am. Man, it's really cool. Super cool. And this is like, we don't even have the full thing like all done yet, but man, very nice. Let's open up the flaps on the GN drive. This is a perfect grade. You have to take advantage of the armor opening gimmicks. All the gimmicks, right? Look at that. GN flower there on the back. Maybe I have to press the button again because it's just flashing between blue and pink. And I can sort of see that waist problem that Alex actually warned me about starting to happen. It comes apart there at the waist, doesn't it? So you're probably going to want to glue that. I'm going to press it again because I think it's not going to do anything else but this until I press the button again. So one more time. Press, and then I think it should go. Yeah, there you go. It should stay in Trans Am after that. That looks really good. Oh man. Wow. Definitely. For sure. Yeah, I knew it was gonna look pretty good, and I've even seen it in person before, but just being able to just like look at it up close, really, really nice. Man, all right, let me turn the lights back on. And one more. There we go. Whew. Pretty cool. And then pressing the button one more time. Oh, then it goes like dark red and turns off. Oh, but the GN drive is still on in the back. It's like kind of flashing like the chest is still on there. So I guess that's like the first stage. Oh, okay, now the rest of the whole thing's lighting up. So that's like the first stage. And the second stage is changing. Oh, now it's off again. So okay, anyway. The first stage is just the chest. The second stage is the whole thing will be blue. The second stage it'll go from blue, a third, like changing from blue to pink, blue to pink, blue to pink. And then it's fourth is just pink. And then fifth, it powers down and just goes back to just blue. And then fifth is off. So very cool. I was hoping to get the whole frame done in this live stream, but apparently, as is my lot in life this week, apparently, especially this week, everything just takes longer than you expect it to. I didn't even get halfway through this beer. I didn't even know. Didn't get as far as I wanted to on this thing. Didn't get as far as I wanted to on this thing. Didn't even finish these snacks either. Damn. Failed live stream. I guess I'm still a live stream noob. But man, chug it and dab. I can't chug that much. Not anymore. I'm old. Ajushi. I'm full on Ajushi now. Can't do that stuff. Should the arms as well? Should I just go into like hyper mode and just blast out the arms really fast? I don't think I can, but damn, maybe do that tomorrow. What's after the arms? After the arms, then the head frame. And then onto the armor. So yeah, I guess we'll maybe continue tomorrow. I actually need to edit a video. So I'll finish my beer and snacks whilst editing a video. Need to edit the video review of the Suntoy's Black Gundam. So I'm going to do that now and then post up that video for you guys in the morning. And then probably tomorrow night do another live stream of continuing on with this. So yeah. All right. Thanks for hanging out and watching, guys. This thing is very cool. So thanks to Alex for moderating there in the chat. And yeah. Just sort of looking through some of the chat now. Are you a fan of the older, more mechanical detail style of the PGs or the more modern, gimmick-oriented, more posable ones? Even the more modern ones have been very detailed. I feel like the Exia though is going back to being more detailed with the arm, with the hatch opening gimmicks and things like that. It is very detailed. Like I was mentioning before, the actual number of parts going into the frame so far seems quite low compared to other perfect grades. It's a quite simple build for the frame, but it looks very detailed, so that's the important part, right? Is there a suit design you're tired of seeing in kit form now? Variations of the build strike. Yeah. The build strike was a design that I didn't really like too much from the beginning, and now we've got a couple different enough variations that I'm not that into it. Other than that, I don't know. Suit design I'm tired of seeing in kit form. Not really, other than that. I mean, we have plenty of different versions of the Zaku and the Arc 72 Gundam, but I think all of those they're all like different enough. They all have their own purpose, so it's okay. Yeah, the Astray would be one. We do kind of have quite a few versions of the Astray. Yeah. Still no 1-to-1 Zaku. That definitely would have been cool to get a 1-to-1 Zaku. Wonder if the Wound War can transform. That's a good question. I don't really care too much for the transformation of the Wound War, so that won't really be something that I really worry too much about. I imagine it will. It'll probably be parts forming, like with most HG transforming kits. It'll probably involve a little bit of parts forming, I would imagine. One thing that definitely doesn't look good on the Woundwort is the hands. Oh, those hands look pretty horrid. Luckily, we have replacement option hands that we can use, so that'll definitely be the way to go. No, the Woundwort HG is not out yet. It was just announced today. Someone in the chat there. +1 dislike. Oh no! Someone disliked the video. If you watch Gundam Build Fighters Battle Log episode 5, no, and I think you're probably like the 5th or 6th person to ask that in this stream. We need a Dom 2.0, a Master Grade Dom 2.0. Could be better, but the Master Grade Dom 1.0 is a really good kit, actually, despite its age. I actually really like it. Do you think an RG full armor Gundam would be a bad idea? Any thoughts? I guess you mean a full armor unicorn Gundam in RG? I'm sure it's coming. It's just a matter of time. One thing I was noticing while sanding parts for the Mega Size Unicorn, on the underside of the backpack on the Mega Size Unicorn, there's a little like a recessed area that looks like it's a place for the backpack connection to tab into that on the underside of the backpack for a full armor set for the Mega Size. That would be insane. But it looks like that. It looks like they designed the backpack in a way that if they decide to make a full armor set for it later, they can. But I don't know if they will. It's a lot of plastic in Mega Size. It's be really huge. But I don't know if any of you guys else who have built the. I don't have it here. I can't show you. If I had it here, I could just show it to you guys. But if any of you guys else have built that or have that kit and have noticed that, you can maybe see what I mean. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this live stream because I want to edit that video and then go to sleep. So thank you guys for hanging out and watching. To be continued. I'll see you guys next time. And don't forget, also this weekend is we have Gunpla Talk. We have our Gunpla Talk episode this weekend where we're going to be talking about the GBWC 17, giving some of our predictions and thoughts on some of the winners of GBWC this year. So watch Gunpla Talk later on this weekend. Like our Facebook page, follow our Facebook page to stay updated on that. And yeah, that's it, guys. So I'll see you later. Thanks for hanging out. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.